Hello there. My name's John Leishman. I'm the CEO of Geeks on the Way. I just thought I'd do a quick video response to the forum thread here. It's just it's a bit easier for me to talk a little bit more about what we do instead of spending a couple pages of putting a couple pages of typing together. We've tinkered around with an MRR or MSP type model for I'm gonna say almost 2 years now. And one of the challenges that I really had is with a traditional MSP model, it ends up being more, it ends up costing the clients more than a break fix model in a lot of instances. And I know there's a whole sales strategy around selling MSP services. You know, you're proactive, less downtime, and there's a whole formula you can use to try and sell clients on why an MSP model makes sense. And I'm sort of use MSP, managed service provider, and monthly recurring revenue. I mean, in my mind, they sort of go hand in hand. But so that was a challenge, and I did a lot of research and talked to quite a few folks in the U.S. and Canada, and you know the reality is most of my clients are anywhere from 2 computers to 50 computers, and it was hard for us to justify. Well, we could use the same tools as the rest of the MSPs in the marketplace, but the challenge we have is we're spread out amongst 20 different cities. So we can't, and I don't have salespeople in each city. I simply have technicians who are really good at what they do, but they're not salespeople. They're really good at looking after servers and workstations and so on. So the challenge was, well, how do we get a good sales call into a client in Nova Scotia or Dayton, Ohio, when I don't have a salesperson there? We tried to have the technicians do sales calls by us doing a lot of the work for them, but that didn't work out very well. Just because of what I've said about my previous comment is that they're not good at sales, and that's fine. They're really good at technical support. So after thinking about it a bit more, I mean, what we've come up with is I think a little bit. So let me just go back. So that's the challenge we had. So our solution was, you know what? We're simply going to guarantee to save you 15 to 25%, and here's how we're going to do it. We're going to take a look at your last 12 months worth of IT support, so we at least have some statistical integrity. It's just not the last 3 months, and then we'll guarantee to make those savings for you. And here's how we're going to do it. In our past life, we do mostly on-site support. Now, what we're doing is we're shifting mostly to remote support, which I'm sure a lot of people are, well, I know most of them are doing already, but we had a slightly different model in our company for compensating the technicians. So we've shifted. So now we do mostly remote support for our corporate clients who are on contract. So there's a 15%. We offer them 15% if they go on a 1-year contract. We do mostly remote support. We install Hound Dog on all their workstations and servers, which gives us monitoring as well as unattended remote access. So we know if their antivirus definitions are out of date. We know if there's patches that haven't been put in properly. It just gives us more information so we can be a little bit more proactive. And then the unattended remote access just gives us the ability to remote into people's workstations and computers when they're not there. So it works really well for us, and it works well for our clients. And we will guarantee to save a company 25% of their IT costs if they migrate to Google Apps. And really, what we're trying to do is make the smaller organizations go serverless, because if they have no server, then I need a less technically savvy technician to maintain that server. I can simply have workstation type technicians look after those clients. So I'll offer them a further 10% over the 15 and give them a 25% savings on their IT costs. And this is not, we've been doing this for 12 months, and we analyze each client to see if we're making money. So we're pretty sure this formula is working for us. We have one client who have their financial services company. They only have 5 laptops, pretty small, but they're calling us once or twice a month. We migrated them all to web-based services. So Google Apps, web-based CRM, Now they call us about 3 times a year, but they're still paying us the 75% of what we billed them 2 years ago, um, because we do some other things. We provide emails about new technology that's coming out, new apps for their phone, whatever. Like we try to provide some other value adds, but they're a great margin client for us now. And the other challenge is when you migrate a client to Google Apps. So, anyways, in our organization, it's a lot of work because it's a new way for those clients to actually to work. I mean, they don't necessarily have to use Microsoft Office. Well, try teaching a the staff of a whole company how to use the Google Word processor. It takes a bit of time. So we actually lose money for the first 3 months on clients, and hoping to make it up in the next 9 months through decreased support costs. So the second, and I can talk more about that at some other point in time, but the second point I want to mention is um, we have all our clients have different needs, and some clients are really high maintenance. They call us twice a day because they can't open up their Outlook, they can't open up Word, they can't find this document, whatever it is, it doesn't really matter. So the one thing I like about offering a discount on whatever they paid in the last 12 months is if you're a 3-person company and you're calling us 2 or 3 times a day, then we're simply going to charge you more than if you're a 20-person engineering company and you call us once a month because you have a more technical issue. So for me, it's almost like a pay-to-play model. It just seems to work for us and for our clients, and that's why I like it. And the third point I want to mention is it's really, I think the cloud and Google Apps and Office 365 and all these other cloud-based solutions are really going to have a seriously negative impact on our business. And there's a quote that I say to a lot of people, and I think Dave showed me a slide. It's that if there's 100 technicians, IT technicians supporting networks in, say, Canada and the US right now, I think in 5 years there's going to be 25, and I think in 10 years there's going to be 5 to 10. There's simply going to be less. So what I want to do is we're trying to move ourselves over into a space of being more of an IT consultant, and we're helping our clients move over to cloud-based technologies. We end up cannibalizing our own revenue, but I'd rather do it ourselves than have one of our competitors do it. And then the challenge is, well, okay, how do I keep my margins? Well, how do I generate additional revenue? And I don't have the answers to all those questions because I'm trying to figure them out myself. Whether it's a virtual CIO service where you charge a monthly fee for that to help them pick on all the different web-based apps so that they all integrate together. It's one idea I have. I haven't actually rolled it out or put too much more thought into it. And I have some other ideas as well. One, I think the future really is in applications. So we actually are getting more into offering hosts. Like in the past, we didn't offer website hosting. It's like, oh, it's only $15 a month. Now it's like, you know what? We'll do whatever the client wants us to do. We'll do hosting. We'll do email. Well, the email's done through Google Apps, but we'll do application development. We'll do custom software for clients. We'll do whatever they want us to do to help make their operations more efficient. And we're learning as we go. I mean, we have to change some of our staff because our old staff couldn't change with the new model of our business, which is I think we're going to become more of an IT consulting company, and we'll help you put together those web-based applications, linked in with Google Apps or not, and so that you can operate your company through a browser. So, there's some pretty big challenges, and I sort of look at us as as a bit negative, I'm gonna say, but a bit like the buggy whip industry. And I don't think we're not gonna totally go away in the next 10 or 15 years, but I think there's gonna be some big changes coming down the line, and I think we need to be all prepared. And Google Apps is, I think, in my opinion, one of the best products out there, simply because Microsoft is in a defensive position with their Office 365. I mean, they have a more complicated pricing scheme because they're, in a sense, could be cannibalizing their own revenue, which is not good for their stock price. Whereas Google Apps is new product. They can price it at whatever they want. They have nothing to lose and everything to gain. And that's why I'm actually a particular fan of Google Apps. Plus, they have an open marketplace. Their third-party app marketplace is fantastic compared to Office 365's. Anyways, I'll try and do a couple more videos on my thoughts on the sort of weekly conversations because it's just an easier way for me to convey a lot of information than simply typing it all out. Thanks a lot. Hopefully that some of this information helps, and feel free to reach out to me if you want.